some way, no clue. And there's no better feeling than when my heart starts beating, 'cause your love is selfless, oh yeah. And you make my world stop turning. It's like a wildfire burning, and there's nobody else. I need you. Baby, you make my days bright. In darkness, you're my candlelight. You and me feels right together. Baby, you make my days bright. In darkness, you're my candlelight. You and me feels right together. I'm light as a feather. Never touch the ground, so high on your loving now, and I'm never coming down, no. But I know you'll catch my fall with you, no fear at all.
The Big Play Reflog Show is brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News is the place to be for all your gaming news, guides, walkthroughs, interviews, and reviews, like the review of the new game Knockout City Dodgeball Dynasty. Or join into the discussion with their new Shack Chat, where they discuss their favorite characters for the upcoming Mario Golf game. And don't forget to check out the Shack News Reader and Shack News Cortex to get even more involved in the gaming community right on their site. From video game tournaments to Twitch streams, they do it all at Shack News. And speaking of Twitch streams, make sure to subscribe to their channel on Twitch to see the newest games as well as some great throwbacks. So if you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle @ShackNews and at ShackNews.com.
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I ain't no goddamn doctor.
Cut back by Chubb. He's to the 10. He's still running to the 5. He dips outside left. He's doing it. Touchdown. A swing and a drive. To deep left. Away. Back and goal. Reflog. It's turf golfer backwards.
No. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show. Today is Monday, May 24th, 2021. I am your host, Big Play Dave, alongside my main man, Mr. Chris McNeil. How are you, sir?
Summer is upon us, Dave. I am doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm great. I've been trying to correct my drive and hit a straight drive at the golf course. I've committed this year, Chris. Hit a couple straight ones today.
Phil Mickelson has given us all hope, right?
That's
50-year-old guy goes out there, wins the PGA yesterday. I'm sure everybody has caught that by now. And so now us being up there in age, I think that gives us a lot of hope on the links. At least it does for me.
I pulled my back, so what? And we'll see. Gab Cruz, back-to-back weeks. How are you? Wow, that is a gigantic seltzer. How many ounces was that?
All right, if it's back here, it's a regular one. If it's up here, it's a giant one.
Close. What was that in Wayne's World? Zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of
close up.
Phil Mickelson, I saw something funny on Twitter. Was it his sister who tweeted his mom's texts? Did you guys see that?
I missed that. No. What is that?
His mom's texts. They were hilarious. She was texting in game and was like, tell Phil to don't hit bombs, don't activate the calves. Like something about her text was hilarious because she was texting like how moms totally text, but it was funny because she was given strategy to his sister to tell him. It was funny. You have to look it up on Twitter. I love that aspect that moms and dads are still so involved at that level, that high level, and for that late in his career.
Never ends. Never ends. That's awesome. John says, no trade talk tonight, Chris. No trade talk for the Browns. We're staying out of it. John, we will try to keep our word to that. Hamill Eagle says, let's go. What's up, everybody? Leave a comment in the chat. Let's get this sucker going. Tonight on the show, we're going to kick it off with some Power Rank Monday.
Power Rank Monday.
Presented by Labatt Blue. We're going with the top 3 songs, best songs for karaoke at the bar. This should be interesting. We'll then
now things are kind of coming back after COVID, so now
we can actually do them.
Going to be able to, be something people can do again. So we'll fill you on some songs that are hot, and we got Gab who can actually sing those, which is kind of nice.
Gab, will you try to sing all of them?
Yeah, I'll try. There was a couple I don't know the melodies on, but we'll make it up.
Much better than Dave and I guarantee
that. Absolutely. Then we'll get into our featured interview with sports reporter Cleveland's own Matt Lodi. Super pumped to talk to him. That'll be great. After that, we'll get into Cleveland sports headlines brought to you by TSE Cleveland. They're going to help us give away another Browns signed jersey this week. Going old school, we're going Kevin Mack.
How great is that? Kevin
So
Mack,
good.
the Mack truck, baby. Yes.
Yep, that's a fantastic giveaway item. So whoever wins that here in about 15, 20 minutes, you are one lucky person. Then we'll wrap up with the best and worst tweets of the week. There were some good ones and some bad ones. Let's kick it off with some Power Rank Monday.
It's time for Power Rank Monday.
Power Rank Monday, presented by Labatt Blue. If you're a light beer fan, make the switch to Labatt Blue Light this summer. The Labatt Blue crew in Cleveland is super awesome. Gab, you can attest to that. They're great to work with. Support them, support the show. Drink Labatt Blue, Blue Light, seltzers like Gab, lemonade seltzers, whatever you want. And starting this week, we're going to start some giveaways with Labatt for you guys, the listeners. A few different ways to win. Every week, we're going to do a small play giveaway. That is going to be the best live comment of the night is going to win a Labatt Blue drawstring bag.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. So, best live comment every week goes home with a drawstring bag with Labatt Blue logo on it. Maybe we'll put something in it. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Then we're going to do some bigger ticket items throughout the weeks. Giant coolers. We've got hockey chairs made out of hockey netting, grills, backyard games, some really, really cool stuff we're going to be giving away. Anyone who wants to enter into these, take a picture of themselves and join a Labatt Blue Light, seltzer, whatever you want. Tweet it out, tag us in that, and you will be automatically entered to win that giveaway. So as opposed to one of these retweet ones where it's hundreds and hundreds of people, you have a pretty good shot each week to win one of these things. So
it's cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
Some unique stuff.
Did I show you that chair?
Yeah, I saw that picture.
The chair is
Out of a
cool.
hockey goal.
Yeah. One of your
I
Blue
need that.
Jacket friends down there will love that, Chris.
I need one of those in my life.
That's right.
right.
All right, let's get into some power ranks. So tomorrow is National Sing Out Day. Never heard of this. Never heard of this. Gab, you've probably heard of this. You probably invented it.
I never have until you guys put it in the show. So I guess we're gonna have to participate now.
Oh, you can. That's a hard pass for me and Chris, but we will power rank best songs to sing for karaoke. I will kick it off with my number 3.
Before you do that,
Yes.
I don't know whether it's the Labatt Blue and maybe it's the Canadian connection, but I just got retweeted by Bob Ray, and I had no idea who Bob Ray is. But I looked. He's the permanent representative of Canada to the United Nations. So how about
Wow.
What?
he retweeted my tweet from yesterday of Phil Mickelson, incredible, where I took The Simpsons, where it's old man shakes fist at
Oh, yeah.
and made it into Phil Mickelson, and it says old man wins PGA.
What is his
He
job?
looks at that and he says, I like it. So me and Canada, Labatt Blue, and
Perfect.
apparently they're ambassadors to the UN. We're all close.
We're all coming together.
That's
A
right.
Simpsons meme treaty. I
And
love it.
Simpsons, yeah, we're gonna have somebody on from The Simpsons, the director of The Simpsons, on
Yes.
here in a couple of weeks. So it's all coming together. See,
That's right. All right, number 3.
Number 3.
Total Eclipse of the Heart. Not the original. I'm going with the Dan band from Wedding Singer.
oh nice, nice.
Gab, do you know this? Do you know this version?
I'm trying to think. I haven't seen The Wedding Singer in a minute, but obviously Adam Sandler is leading this.
No, so it's the I think it's the band at his wedding.
Oh, okay. It hit the Dan band. Yeah, I don't remember.
It's like-
I'll have to look it up.
Do you know how the song goes?
This would be perfect if we had a clip like to roll of the video of the movie. But I do know the original is like, and I need you more than ever.
Yeah, and then in the show he's like, Chris, is the young family watching?
No, not at the moment.
Then he's like, I fucking need you now forever.
Sorry, Lucas, if you're listening.
Number 2.
Number 2.
A Boy Named Sue. Gab, do you know this one? Johnny Cash.
That's classic.
I should know this. Can you give me the melody?
No, it's so this if anyone could pull this off at a karaoke, that would be the song of the night because it's very fast paced and it's like one of those story songs where Johnny Cash tells
Okay.
a story.
Yeah,
Check
okay.
it out after the show. It's a very good song.
All right. You can't. If you give me a gist, I might know it, but I won't put you on the spot like that.
All right, we will skip over that one. Number 1,
Numero uno.
Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. Do you know this
Oh,
one?
yes.
Do you know what this
Okay.
is from? What movie?
Easy come, easy go.
From Bohemian
Well,
Rhapsody.
well, yeah. Wouldn't it be from that movie? But it's from. Oh God, it's from something special though too.
Oh, come on. You've got to know this. Classic 90s.
I know
you
it's a
don't-
classic. Ah,
Easy
God.
come,
All right.
easy go.
Oh.
Don't tell me.
Come on. Saturday Night Live. It used to be a skit. Then it was turned
Chris,
into
did I
a-
mess this up?
Oh,
Pirate Johnny
Um,
on Twitter says, wasn't that in Old School? Was it not Wedding Singer? Was it Old School?
Oh,
it was-
I thought it was a wedding singer, too. I haven't seen either of those in a long time.
Yeah, it's
so
been a while.
I could be
easy
mixing them.
come,
But this
easy
one I
go.
am absolutely sure of. Come on. The movie that
Oh, give
was-
me a hint. Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
starts with a W. And the second word is W. It's WW.
Here, check this out. I'm dressed like
Wayne's World!
one of the characters.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Well done.
Got
Well
a lot
done,
of people
Gab.
yelling out, I'd imagine, right there. Going, Wayne's World, how do you not know that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, by the way, Coach Cam West says Tri-Valley is greater than Granville. Just throwing that out there.
Ouch.
Burn. Chris, what do you got? Top 3.
My number 3.
Number 3.
I got friends in low places. Now, Gab, you got to know that one. A
I
little
only
dark-
know that line.
That's all you know?
I don't know for certain if it's the thing, but I'm hearing it as I got friends in low places. And that's all I got.
Blah, 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 blah.
Faces my blues away.
Who is that, Chris? Is that Chris Gaines?
Chris Gaines? No, this was not Chris Gaines. This was Garth Brooks. Chris Gaines was a completely different character. He was more of a pop character than
So-
what Garth Brooks is.
So
Are you aware of that? That Garth Brooks had an alter ego named Chris Gaines? Did you know that one, Gab?
What was the last part of that?
That was his alter ego.
Oh,
Garth Brooks and Chris Gaines.
okay.
No, yeah. There you go. There's your 90s tidbit.
That's right.
Thank you.
WJP Stat says Gab, nice list. Gab hasn't even done her list yet, has she?
I didn't go yet.
Oh,
No,
well,
I agree. It's a nice
they
list.
know it's gonna be a good list. All right.
Just get leaked.
It's
There
like the
you
Brown
go, Sal.
schedule.
The Twitter
Deep
insiders
breath.
have leaked my list already. My
Oh, the
karaoke
show
list.
is ruined.
I've got it. Okay, my number 2.
Yes.
Number 2.
Bon Jovi, "Living on a
Yes.
Prayer." Come
Bon
on, you
Jovi
know
is
that
an
one, right,
excellent
Gab?
choice. Any of his songs are a good choice, but whoa. Wait, is this the halfway there? Living on a Prayer? Yeah. Okay.
I loved how you just
She's
paused.
like, yeah, I know it. Whoa! That was
Whoa! No, isn't that part of the song?
Yes.
We're halfway. Is that the same one or
Yeah.
living on a prayer? I know that part.
Yes to all.
Okay, but is it the same song that we're halfway there? That's the prelude to that, right?
Literally, that's a sentence before you say "living on a prayer."
Okay, well you have to
got
understand.
It. You got it.
Right.
I'll tell you a fun fact when I get to my 3, but I'll explain why I'm confused. But Chris, you wrap up.
my number 1.
Numero uno.
I celebrate their entire catalog. Anything by Smash Mouth. Now, Gab, you've got to know some Smash Mouth, right?
I only know I only know the hey now, you're an all-star. And for the longest time I thought it was get your Kmart, go play.
Oh,
You thought it was Get Your Kmart?
Yeah, until like last year someone said it's get your game on, I think.
you thought it was "Get Your Kmart"?
I did. I thought it was a good old American song. I don't know.
Kmart.
Get your Kmart, even though it doesn't make any sense, but that's what I thought it was.
That's awesome.
All right, but anything, give me the gist on that. I don't know what the chorus is.
Oh, you pretty much nailed it there.
Chris is like, I am not singing this.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done singing, I think.
I spelled karaoke wrong. It's going
But
swimmingly.
you talked
well.
about this, kind of messed up lyrics. I saw this online just randomly the other day. Summer of '69. Was that Brian Adams or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says sucking on chili dogs.
Yeah.
That's always bothered me, and I saw that it's become an internet thing where it
Isn't that a
bothers-
different guy? Sucking on chili dogs. That's
Oh, that's the wrong
John
song.
Mellencamp. That's John
That's
Mellencamp.
Mellencamp, isn't it? Yeah, I get them confused a lot.
Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane. There you go. Yeah,
weird.
I screwed that
growing
up.
up.
But
Yeah.
sucking on chili dogs. I mean, who
Nobody
does that?
that.
Nobody sucks on chili dog. Like, how
Is
does
that
how does
the
that
actual
feel?
words? I thought it sounded like that, but it was something different. No,
Oh, that's actual. It's sucking on chili dogs.
Huh.
What? That makes no sense. Who does that? How would they?
maybe
How'd that
dollar
song become a
dollar
hit?
dog night. Those are a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, see? Now it bothers me.
Well,
It put
well,
me up
since
at
you
night,
said
and
that-
I was happy to see when I went on the internet, it keeps a lot of people up at night.
Well,
So,
since you said that, I'm gonna say something that I always thought never made any sense.
Let's hear it.
Taylor Swift song that's like,
stopped a Taylor Swift song.
and talk real slow. What's the line before that? Our song is the slam of screen door, sneaking out late, tapping on your window when you're on the phone and you talk real slow, 'cause it's late and your mama don't know. I wouldn't talk slow if it's late and my mama don't know. I would talk low. And that has bothered me forever that she said slow instead of low.
Slow would make more sense. That's right.
You should DM her.
I
Oh,
really
when
should.
she says star-crossed lovers in that one song, and I still swear it's Starbucks lovers.
It does. It sounds like Starbucks lovers.
Every single time I hear that damn song.
You guys lost me.
Sorry. All right, on to Gab's list. I think. we
Yeah,
need
what do you
to-
got? Oh yeah, we got Matt waiting.
We got Matt waiting.
Okay, we got Matt waiting, so I gotta do this fast.
Let's do it.
The only thing I was gonna say before is someone recently told me that when you listen to music, there's people who fall into 2 categories: people who hear lyrics and people who hear music first. And I realized I'm one of the people that hears music first because I don't know
Absolutely.
the lyrics to anything. Like you'd think I'd be good at karaoke, but actually I'm terrible because I don't know the words and everyone calls me on it and I always have to be like, I was freestyling.
Dave, I got confirmation. It was old school.
Oh, why did I think wedding singer? I guess just
don't know.
seems like he would fit in there. He's been in another movie, The Band, I believe, outside of Old School.
But yeah.
I can't remember. All right, Old School.
All right,
Sorry.
enough foreplay. Come on.
Gab.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3.
I don't know why I put this on here. I'm not a big country music person, but I do love Carrie Underwood, and I feel like anybody in any scene would go ham for Before He Cheats. I took a Louisville slugger to both headlights. You know, like people
Yes.
get up for that. So she's
Yeah.
number 3.
Love it.
Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Number 2.
Oh, number 2. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. So there we go.
I like that one
Pretty
too.
solid choices so far.
John, my
And number
man,
one.
the band was in The Hangover. I knew it was in another movie. Didn't get it, but oh well. Number 1.
Numero uno.
I'm going oldies here. I'm a big Motown lover, so Ain't No Mountain High. Ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. That's my jam.
That's a great song. I believe that was in Remember the Titans.
Yes.
I believe.
I'm sure you're probably
love
right.
all the
Someone
movies
please
references.
correct me. I'm sure
You're like,
that's
no,
wrong.
that was Happy Gilmore.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, man. And that is
Great
Power
songs.
Rank Monday.
That are tough in a karaoke bar because no one else can sing those. Like you can sing Whitney. Like who else can sing
Yeah.
Whitney? Like there's nobody at a karaoke bar.
Oh, people love to shout that one. But yeah.
Oh, I know, but no one can really sing it. I mean, oh wow, that's a tough one. That's aspirational, I would say, for most people. Even after several drinks, that's aspirational.
All right, that is Power Rank Monday. Tune in every week, Power Rank Monday, presented by Labatt, and give us your rankings. We're going to move into our featured interview, Cleveland sports reporter for Outkick.com and NEOSportsInsiders.com. Pumped to bring on Matt Lodi. We will be back here in
35 seconds.
You think 35?
35 seconds.
All right, I'm on the clock. Already on the line, we have Cleveland sports reporter for Outkick.com, NEOSportsInsiders.com. He's a cancer survivor. He's written a ton of sports books, which you can check out on Amazon. He is the one and only Cleveland's own Mr. Matt Lodi. Matt, welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show, sir. How are you? We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Now you can hear me.
There we go. Haven't you been on
There you
enough
go.
Zoom calls to know it by now? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the 2-year Zoom hell, you know what I mean? And I'm going to start a Zoom class on how to do Zoom. It's going to be incredibly late, but that's all right. You know, I'm going to figure, $50 a head. I could, maybe make some money, but, we'll see.
We'll all sign up. We all need help. Matt, I was checking out some of your books on Amazon. The latest Browns one that you put out looks fantastic. I read your bio on Amazon, and it says "diehard Steelers fan." This is a misprint, correct?
No, it's not. And I'm not, I knew that it would come up pretty early, but no, I've been a Steelers fan most of my life, so I'm not gonna be able to get away with it. And that's okay. I love the rivalry. I love the back and forth between the two, the two cities and the two states and the banter and everything like that. And, 2021, if nothing else, should be very interesting. I'll give you that.
That is very true. Yeah, I saw the bio said someone bought you Steelers pajamas when you were 4.
My father.
Was
my
it your dad?
yeah.
Okay.
He was a police officer out in Brecksville, and they used to, on their breaks, they used to go Christmas shopping, and sure enough, I got a pair of Steeler pajamas with 4 Super Bowl trophies, which is why I sport the black and gold now. Here I am like an idiot 40 some years later.
Hey, you had hell of a run.
What a run it was. Yeah, you got that right.
That's right. So one of my absolute favorite tweets over the past year was your shout out by Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. What was that moment like, pulling up your phone and seeing one of the most electrifying sports entertainers of all time talking about you?
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I got to admit, I had no idea about it. A friend of mine who does some work with ESPN out in Los Angeles helped put it together, even though she said that, a lot of it was just, trying to send a letter and, trying to be humble about it and everything like that. And, it was interesting because, as I said, I had no idea it was coming. My friend even didn't have any idea it was coming. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, the guy takes 2.5 minutes of his life to, to say hi. I just was blown away. It really was an overwhelming experience, and one that I'll never ever forget.
Matt, I gotta tell you, my dad is also a huge rock fan. So as soon as I saw that, he was probably just as giddy as you were for you.
Yeah, I mean, and I was getting calls at like 6 a.m. from John Telich and, guys like that being like, hey, can we get you at like 9 o'clock on our internet show? And And I'm like, yeah, whatever you guys need, just let me know, and it turned out to be a very cool experience. And I was blessed enough to have Channel 3, Channel 5, and then also Channel, what was it? I believe it was Channel 19 it's Fox 8. All did stories on it. And I thought that was really cool as well.
That's awesome. Were you a WWF fan?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a huge wrestling fan. And let me see here. I think it's the count is like 6 WrestleManias, and went to the very first Survivor Series that was ever in Cleveland or ever performed, actually, in 1987. So I have a pretty cool history with like wrestling and getting to go to some big events and meet a few guys through the media, of course, and everything like that. But nothing will ever take away from getting that solicitation like that, because again, it was just so out of the blue. And it was just so cool for him to do that.
That's so awesome. All right, so let's switch gears real quick. Indians. So you've been covering. Did you start in 1994? Did you start with the Indians?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, 94 is when Progressive Field's first year, actually. I was working for WHK, which was a radio station there in town, and they needed somebody to cover games, and I didn't know what it entailed, but I was a young kid and I wanted to get my feet wet doing whatever. And sure enough, it worked out perfectly. So yeah, I've been able to, be down there pretty much the last 27 years. It's been awesome.
Any favorite players or stories from the mid 90s that kind of have stuck with you? Cause I mean, what a time to cover the Tribe.
Yeah.
No, it was incredible. And I mean, the thing is, it was so surreal because, again, you had no idea that 20, 30, 40 years later, you were still going to be talking about these guys.
Yeah.
You kind of thought like, oh, this is cool. And they're a really good team. And, maybe they'll win a championship or whatever. And then that was pretty much it. But, we started to sort of realize pretty quickly how special this team was. And the fact that there was no Browns really helped out the Indians in a big way. I mean, it really did, because obviously if you were a Browns fan, what were you going to do on Sundays? Were you going to still watch the hometown team, the Indians, or were you going to just watch another football team like the Raiders or the Browns, or I'm sorry, not the Browns, Raiders or Steelers or Titans or whoever? So to me, a lot of people turned to the Indians, and I think the fan base really just exploded. And of course, again, the team being really, really good did not hurt at all. So, yeah, there was a lot of blessings back in those mid 90 years, because again, you just never saw it coming. And once they started to win, they were pretty unstoppable.
I'm sure you got plenty of stories from those 90s teams. Is there anything that sticks out? One of my favorite guys on there is Albert Bell. So if you got any good
right.
Albert Bell takes too, that's always great for me. I always love hearing those things about Albert in this time.
So Albert is a story that I tell all the time. So when you walked into the clubhouse, Albert had the first locker on the left. So you walked in, you turned to the left, you looked to the left, whatever, and there was Albert's locker. Very, very first locker, right? So he gets up, he walks over to the trainer's room or whatever, comes back, and he's, taping up or untaping or whatever it is. And I'm in there, and I'm, 18, 19 years old. And this is like in May of 2006. So the big series, of course, if you remember, was the Bulls and the Magic, because Michael had just come back off the quote unquote retirement, and Orlando was trying to knock them out of the playoffs.
Probably with Shaq and Penny.
It was Shaq and Penny, and no, they hadn't gotten Hardaway yet, but they did have some pretty good players on that team, and of course Shaq, like you said, was unstoppable. But so it was the Bulls and Magic, right? So they're up there shooting free throws, and it's Shaq. And Shaq is missing this one, and then he's missing the next one, and he's missing the next one. And I'm standing there just innocently watching this. And all of a sudden I hear a voice go, man, Orlando would have this whole thing wrapped up if they get it a free throw. And I'm like, in my head, I go, is that intended for me? Or is that an intentional, like, is that for the whole room? Like, who exactly was that statement for? Because this is a real calculated situation. If I turn around and it wasn't intended for me, he could look at me and go, what were you, why, what do you think I'm talking to you type thing? You know what I mean? On the other hand, if I don't turn around,
with him.
right. If I don't turn around and that was intended for me, he might think he might get offended. So I sort of did like a half turn, and sure enough, he was like staring right at me. And I immediately went into like, yeah, Mr. Bell. Yeah, you're right. They need to hit free throws, blah, 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 blah. So, it was a pretty memorable experience. And part of the reason it was memorable too was that it was the very next day that he pounded that clubhouse with a bat because something happened with the buffet or with tickets or something. I don't know what it was, but it was something to do with food or whatever. And he took a bat to these ridiculous, Goodwill type plates that they used to put out, for the guys after the games and stuff like that. So yeah, Albert was a character, man. There's not much more you could say about it. I mean, for as cool as Tommy was, and of course Sandy, and a little bit further down the road you had Roberto, Hershiser, Denny Martinez, even Eddie Murray, who could be kind of prickly too. Bell was the guy to watch out for because he was just he was a wild card, and you didn't know what to expect from him.
That's wild. Did you happen to be in Chicago with the whole corked bat situation at all?
No, I was not. I did not travel very much with them at that time, just a little bit here and there, but no, I mean, I knew all about it and I'd heard about it. And I think the first I heard about it would have been the next morning. I think somebody from, with Inside the Indians kind of thing called me about it and kind of gave me a heads up that, this is going to happen. And, and you're just sort of like, what, it really is a Mel Brooks movie. I mean, seriously, it's like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, and what exactly are they going for here? Like, what is the goal of this experiment? You know what I mean? Because Albert's still going to get suspended. Right. Jason Grimsley's about as, brain dead as Frankenstein. I mean, I don't know what he thought he was going to accomplish, but, he didn't exactly put on an award-winning show in that whole saga either. So to me, guys, it was like basically a situation where, you kind of played it by ear, but to me towards the end, and then of course at the end of the whole thing, when eventually the suspensions were upheld and everything like that, it was just a mess. One, the Indians certainly didn't need at that time because they seemed to have a distraction every other day. But, it was just, every time you turned around, it was something else, whether it was Fernando Vina, whether it was, you get into the playoffs and you're pointing at your bicep and, it's just, there were so many things, as we keep saying, that went on during that mid-90s season of those teams. And it was just, we'd never seen a team like that. The Indians were always the guys that got bullied. They were never the bullies. You know what I mean? They were always the team that, we got the Indians, put a W by it, where then all of a sudden, as Oral Hershiser pointed out, and I think even Denny Martinez in one of the documentaries pointed out, all of a sudden the Indians went from the team that everybody beat to the team that, suddenly you got a hamstring pull the day of that game, because you didn't want to go up against them. And, it was kind of neat to see the turnaround in the organization, but also turnaround in the fan base, I thought was kind of cool as well.
Did you ever have a chance of being in the locker room when "This Is How We Do It" is played by?
Oh yeah.
Often?
Oh, every night. Yeah, because it got
incredible.
played. It got played every single night, and it wasn't a joke. It wasn't like, they didn't do it because of one thing or another. It just, they did it, and they played that song every single night. And there was a playlist, and I'll be darned if I mean, I'm sure Zach Meisel or somebody's got it somewhere. Of some of the other songs that, like whether it was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch or something like that. I don't remember, but I remember, you got to remember too, back in those 90s years, it wasn't just about baseball and it wasn't just about the Indians, because you're talking about a time frame in Cleveland history where the Flats was jumping. I don't know, Chris, I mean, you and I are kind of around the same age, so I would imagine we sort of probably did this together with unknowingly. You head down to the Flats on Friday at like 10 o'clock. You find the local bar, whether it's the Basement or, one of those, Club 1148. I don't know. There were so many different ones down there. Shooters was a fun one. You had the Billards place. What was that? Julian's or whatever it was. So, there was so much to do, and it was so much fun, and you met your boys and, your girls, and you went to the powerhouse and played video games until, 1 a.m. I just remember how much fun it was. And again, it wasn't always just about, the Indians won again. It was more like an attitude of, how the downtown area sort of, how can I say, it sort of transformed the way that we looked at the city. It sort of transformed the way that we looked at how Cleveland was perceived. And as I keep saying, it wasn't just about one person, one player, one team, one anything. It was a collective effort. And like I keep saying, it was just so much fun at that time to kind of go through it, and it's something that, if you were a part of it, you cherished it, which is why, I could talk about it all day. I mean, it was part of my life that I just will never forget.
It's interesting you say all that, because it kind of makes me think of The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah, there you go.
Bulls and the intersection, they wove into that all the music, kind of the style, the clothing, all around those Chicago Bulls teams and what Michael Jordan brought to the table. It was kind of the same thing for the Indians, because it was the music, it was the style, it was what the swagger that brought back to Cleveland. It was a mindset. I mean, it was completely different than what we had seen up to that point, right?
Well, yeah, and it's interesting you mention it, because I remember one night, usually doing what I do for a living, I usually have another, young person helping me out, and stringing for me. And I remember this particular night, somebody got sick or something happened, and we were short a person. So in other words, I had to try to run to the visitors' locker room, get a couple of sound bites, and then run over to the Indians, right? So I run to the visitors, I get the manager, again, I don't even remember who they played. And then I got, a player, I believe it was. And so I go running down to the Indians. I mean, I am sprinting. And this is at a time frame before I got sick, so I wasn't exactly Carl Lewis. But I'm running down the other way, and I get into the clubhouse, and there's one person in there, and he's playing Congo drums, and that was Carlos Baerga. And I'm like, and I'm sweating, I'm holding my recorder. I'm like shaking because I'm fat, and fat people don't run. And I look at Carlos, and I'm just like sweating to death. And I go, Carlos, can I just get you for a minute? And he is like as cool as a cucumber, man. He is just like, not today, man, as he's pounding on these Congo drums. And I'm just like, son of a biscuit, like you made me run from the visitors all the way down here, and he's wearing one of those like Don Johnson Miami Vice suits, because, I believe it was a Friday night. So he was probably headed down to, Shooters or one of the clubs or whatever, to try to impress, some 18-year-olds or whatever. But, again, needless to say, it's just one of those memories you don't forget, and I just, the fact that he was playing the stupid Congo drums and, nobody could give me an assistant, but like I said, that was back in the day, and it was everybody for themselves. That's how it was.
So is the treatment of Jose Mesa, is that unfair, you think, by the fans?
I think it's unfair from the perspective of we've done what we've always done. We did it with Ernest Biner. I think a lot of people did it with Bernie to a certain extent. We've taken somebody in that had a very big something to do with in a very important game, whether the drive, the fumble, the this, the that, whatever it was. And we've taken that person and we've unfairly kind of crucified that person instead of, putting that person on a bit of a pedestal for all the things that they did to get the Indians or the Browns or the Cavs or whatever to that point. They've taken that person and said, well, this person blew it. And listen, I get what Jose Mesa did. It was just a bad situation, a tough situation. Grover was stubborn. Mesa himself was stubborn. But if those two could have worked things out or seen eye to eye, or if Mike would have just taken, 30 seconds and walked to the mound and said, hey, man, what's going on? And then, Mesa gets mad for a minute and the two of them, bark at each other, but eventually they see eye to eye. Instead of that, it imploded. And obviously by the time it was all said and done, it was a tie game. And, a couple, about an hour 20 later, it was over. So yeah, that was tough. That was really, really tough to me, as hard as 16 was, because, you had it right there in the 8th inning. You were tied after Rajay. 07 still hurts more, to me, because of the way that it went down. And of course, not only that, but because you had the lead. If you never had the lead, or if you were down 2-1 in the 9th and you came back, something like that, it's a different ball game. But the fact that you were ahead, you were winning, and you had your best, pitcher in that situation coming in the game, I don't know how much, that's the greatest setup you could ever want as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. And I'm sure if you talk to Yankee fans, they're going to tell you the same thing about Mariano Rivera and, the year they lost to Arizona in the World Series, which would have been 2001. That's just how it is. And, for the Indians, it'll always be 07. For the Yankees fans, I think it'll always be 01.
I always thought it was interesting on those teams too. Omar Vizquel, right?
Sure.
Loves Omar. There was always an interesting dynamic. He threw Jose Mesa.
Jose Mesa.
Yeah, Jose Mesa under the bus a little bit in his book. And he also locked horns with Albert Bell at times. Any comments you have on that, what that dynamic was like with Omar Vizquel and those two players?
Well, you didn't see a lot of it personally because, those guys always did a very good job of just sort of, staying behind the curtain, staying behind the scenes. They didn't, bring it all out into the open. Like I remember one time, it was the day before the All-Star break, and they're playing down in Cincinnati, and a group of us had gone down there for the weekend to cover the weekend series and then get ready for the All-Star break. Well, I remember specifically after the game, hearing a lot of noise in the clubhouse, a lot of noise. And I'm there with Paul Hoynes and I think Jim Ingram and a couple other beat reporters, Sheldon Oker at the time, of course. And I was like, what's going on, guys? Or what are we hearing? And here it was Sandy and Roberto. And those two guys were just yelling at each other up and down over something. We don't know. I mean, to this day, I don't.
A rat? Was that what it was?
What's that? One more time.
A raccoon versus a rat, where they discuss.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty close, But these two guys were going at it tooth and nail, and we're kind of all sitting there going, what do we do with this? Can we do something? And of course, Bart Swain, our PR director, comes out, and you could just, you got a sense right away, like, well, if we do something with this, we're probably going to be screwed for a while. You know what I mean? As far as getting some exclusives and stuff. But Bart is such a great guy with what he does and his job, and he does such an amazing job that, he gets it. We get it. And everybody at the end of the day just decided, this isn't worth it. Leave it alone. And everybody did. But the point I was going to make, in terms of what we talked about with an Omar was, you had your guys who you always knew were not going to be, warm and fuzzy. They weren't going to be, the greatest guys in the world. They weren't going to be the guys that, open their doors to you on Christmas Day, that type of thing. But, the one thing you want out of a clubhouse, and I've been convinced of this for a long time, is number one, you want a leader. You want somebody who, whether they're 35 years old and they've won 3 World Series and they've won a batting title, whatever it is, or just a 35-year-old who's been on 7 different teams and maybe he's never hit over 240, but has experience. You want one of those 2 guys. I'm thoroughly convinced of that, because if you guys remember, after the Indians in 17, which of course is the year after the Cubs World Series run, they were really, really good. The Indians were. But if you remember, they sort of struggled because they really didn't have that clubhouse leader. And, Mike Napoli was still a part, and that was a huge, huge thing after he left. Well, actually, no, I take that back. He left after the 16 season. And it was kind of like the one guy I think they really were looking to at that point was Michael Brantley. And Brantley just didn't want anything to do with being, the number one guy. And, eventually, of course, Brantley leaves as well to go to Houston. And the rest is sort of history. But, you're seeing now, here we are, 2021, they're starting to develop into some guys that are sort of playing that role of leader. I think Cesar Hernandez. I think Jordan Luplow, for that matter. Certainly Jose Ramirez, no question about it. I think Reyes at some point will kind of try to take over that role. Josh Naylor's another one. And of course, then you have the guys in the rotation. Is Shane Bieber going to be, if he signs a 4-year deal with this team, would he be willing to sort of, take on that role of the leader? Because, Lord knows then he's going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years. So, and I think eventually that's going to happen from the perspective of the Indians want him here. I think he likes it here. I think he's going to want to stay here. He's already had tremendous success anyway with a couple of Cy Youngs and all that other stuff. So, yeah, I do think you're going to keep him here. And I do think he could be that, sort of locker room clubhouse guy. So getting one of those guys and having that guy be the guy that speaks out when things don't go the way the team needs them to, I just think is so important. It just can't be understated.
I was surprised you mentioned Luplow there. I was surprised yesterday. So he called his shot on the bunt on the safety squeeze.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. It shows me the aggressiveness of a guy like that, because here's the other thing. If that play doesn't work, he didn't call that play. You know what I mean? If that play doesn't work, Terry Francona calls that play. Because it did work, Jordan called the play. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. Which I think is kind of cool, because it tells me, going way back to when Terry first came here, that obviously, they've got a manager who does stick up for the players, which has always been a very important part of why I think Terry's been successful. I really do. But yeah, I think when you look at this roster, I think when you look at the way the organization is still built, I just, they're not as bad as everybody thinks. They're not going to win a World Series. Don't get me wrong. But, people who thought that they were going to come in this year and win 40 or 50 games, I never could understand that. And the reason why is because there was no way the pitching was going to be that bad. There was just no way. The pitching was always going to be better than people thought it was. And I think that they're even though it's only 30 games in, I think that they're proving that right now. And, I think, the way that things have gone for this organization, they've had some bad luck, and then of course, they've made some trades. Some have worked out, some haven't. But, in the other realm, they've gotten lucky in some regard. What happens if they don't trade Mike Clevenger And then Clevenger's got to have Tommy John surgery. I mean, talk about taking a chance and getting lucky. Everybody, the Padres are kind of the apple of everybody's eye this year. So nobody's talking about it, but that is a huge situation for them that, they really can't even use the guy that was their number one trade option last year.
Matt, you talked about some of the leadership on our team, and we've also got some young up-and-comers here. Owen Miller made his debut yesterday. Who do you think is going to have the next call-up? Young players we should look out for.
Well, I still am not sure what they want to see out of Bobby Bradley.
We aren't either.
I'm sorry?
We aren't either. We're waiting for him.
Well, I mean,
right where I itch, right there. Call up the assassin. Come on, Matt.
So many people have said, well, he strikes out too much. Well,
Everybody.
You know what? Get him to this level and let's see what he does. That's all. I'm not saying if he comes up here and strikes out every other at bat that you play him 10 games in a row. But I want to see what the kid can do or what he might be like when there's adversity. I just want to see it because, I do think that, he's going to grow. I do think that he's got, room to obviously grow and that he's eventually going to be a pretty good player. Now, again, I don't know if that translates into being, the next big slugger for this team at first base or anything like that. But I do think that it will give the organization another option. And that's why I want to see it. And not only do I want to see it, I want to see what they do with Bobby to sort of reestablish his confidence. Because I thought last year when he went in the tank, guys, I thought he just, I don't want to say the words give up, but to me, he sort of gave up last year.
Interesting. Bring him back up. Adversity. I love that. Matt, we kept you way too long. I think we said only 15 minutes, but this was fantastic. Anything that we can plug for you? Where can people see their articles?
Well, yeah, we've got, of course, I'm the editor of the Indians on Sports Illustrated. So you just go to sportsillustrated.com/MLB/Indians. Cleveland Baseball Insider, you could Google that. That is the actual Sports Illustrated site for the Indians. I'm also a contributing editor over at Outkick.com. Of course, that's Clay Travis's site.
Yep.
A lot of people know Clay from various sports endeavors and also his appearances over on CNN.com as well. So, yeah, just keeping busy, guys, and, trying to enjoy the early part of this baseball season. And, we'll go from there. We got a lot of good things to look forward to, and it's been a blast so far.
Heck yeah. Matt, we greatly appreciate the time. Thanks for taking the time with us, and we'll hope to talk to you real soon.
Yeah, anytime, guys. I appreciate it so much. You guys take care. God bless.
Thank you, Matt, and we're glad you're doing well, too.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Gabe.
All right, Mr. Matt Lodi.
That was awesome. Anytime we could talk mid-90s.
Mid-90s baseball, Chris, we were real into that.
He was so kind to indulge us in that.
I know.
I just love. I mean, like you said, there's so many personalities there. Just so many great stories.
We should just do like 1 week of just mid-90s Indians baseball and just have a couple different people come on. I think that would be really, really fun.
I'm right there with you. And what would top it off? We got to get like Albert Bell on the show.
Yeah, Albert. Yeah, we'll call him up. We can
Come
make
on,
we can
aim
make
high
that
or
happen.
go home, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could get somebody like that. We got that kind of swagger, right?
Yeah.
We could get Sandy for sure, and maybe Sandy could pull in Albert Bell.
There we go.
Sandy, would you mind calling up Albert?
Sandy would be awesome. Oh man, good stuff. 90s baseball, living the dream. Powerhouse, by the way. Like my dad would take me to Powerhouse, and then we get lunch at Rock Bottom, and then we go to an Indians game, and that was like the greatest day ever in the 90s.
That's solid.
Yeah,
that's a good day right there.
Heck yeah. All right, let's talk some Cleveland headlines. Since we're running late, we will breeze through these and probably talk no Cavs.
Oh man.
Cleveland Headlines brought to you by our good friends at TSE Cleveland. Every week, giving away a signed Cleveland sports memorabilia item, courtesy of TSE Cleveland. Check them out on Twitter. Give us a follow. Give TSE a follow on Twitter for your chance to win every week. Signed jerseys, helmets, personal items you want to send in to them. They've got it all. Stay tuned for next week's giveaway. Look out for that show tweet for your chance to win. And this week, we are giving away a Kevin Mack jersey. Fantastic one. Kevin Mack. And the winner of that Kevin Mack jersey. That's an applause. That's not a drum roll. And the winner of the Kevin Mack jersey is Brian Koff at BKoff 213.
BKoff 213.
BKoff 213. Congratulations. Kevin Mack jersey incoming. Shoot us a DM to the show handle, and we'll get that out to you this week. All right, so we haven't talked much Browns. This is Browns related. We've got the date and location for the second annual Jarvis Landry Celebrity Softball Game here in Cleveland. Home Run Derby going on this week. We've got, I believe it's June 12th is when it takes place at Classic Park Stadium in Eastlake. Chris and Gab, anyone in Cleveland, any athlete that you would like to see participate in a home run derby? The people already in it, we've got Travis Kelce out of the Heights, Kareem Hunt, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Denzel Ward. We got Jed Wills, Mac Wilson, Darius Garland, and Bernie Kosar. Heck of a list right there already. Anyone else you'd like to see out there, Gab?
So, not including those people.
Not including those people. Anyone else?
And it can't include our baseball team.
I know that. How cool would that be if an actual ball player went out there and just destroyed
it couldn't
them?
work out because they.
How great would it be if the Indians don't call him up, but Jarvis Landry calls up Bobby Bradley?
Right, like that'd be pretty sick.
June 12th, Bobby Bradley's going to be at Jarvis Landry's thing.
Yes.
Home runs.
Yes.
It's a tryout for the big club.
That would be really, really cool. Anyone in Cleveland who could hit a dinger outside of the Indians? Chris, Gab, what do you think? Yeah, Joe Thomas would be great.
That's an obvious one, right?
Well, that's a good
when
one.
I saw Bernie Kosar on there and you got Jarvis Landry, I was thinking, well, get the trio together from the
draft. Yeah. Miles Garrett, I think that would be a great one.
Oh, how fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like he would crush it.
How about Jamie Gillett?
Jamie, yeah, he could kick it.
Oh, he could do whatever. He'd just be out there with pints, like down the third baseline. Like, what the hell? As people are passing, as players are passing third base, he just hands them a pint. That'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's good right there. That's Jamie.
Sorry, I kept cutting you off.
No, you're good. Gab, do you have one?
I was thinking if we're doing older or alumni people, that maybe Sandy Alomar Jr. would be a cool one if Bernie's in it.
Oh, yeah. I was at the All-Star game when Sandy Alomar Jr. hit the home run to win it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did he win it?
I believe it was the game-winning home run.
Classic MVP All-Star vibes from him.
Heck yeah.
He may be busy coaching first base that day.
God, rats, that's true too. What am I doing here? Yeah.
But you never know.
Priorities.
He gets a sub for the game.
Yeah, that would be good. So that should be fun to watch. June 12th, we'll go check it out.
No Cavs players? Garland, Sexton?
I didn't think of
Garland's
that.
going. Garland's going to be there. Announced. I think I said that right.
Did I miss that one on there?
Yeah, Darius Garland is confirmed.
Garland. Never mind. You did read him off. He's on the list.
Yep.
I'll be.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. How about Kevin Love?
Fat Kevin Love would have been good.
Larry Nance Jr. might be cool.
Beer League Fat Kevin Love.
That would be great.
That would be great.
Larry Nance would be
awesome
awesome.
if he just shows up and he's put on all kinds of weight. Just went all Sean Kemp in the off season and shows up to hit just mash balls. That would be
just
against
puts
us.
on 50 pounds within like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, Gab, Larry Nance would be an awesome one. I think.
Nance.
Yeah, I gotta add him on. Oh,
Larry
both.
Nance and his dad.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're going that way, then get the Matthews out there. Let's just get the whole Matthews clan.
Let's do
Jennifer,
it.
Clay Jr., all of them.
Why not? All right, Browns news, OTAs, JC Treader, NFLPA. A lot of action on Twitter and social media.
That could be a problem.
A little bit, yeah. So some came out today. I believe that the Browns will be participating in limited capacity in some ways. They're working on a compromise. Chris, I mean, do you think this is a big deal? We've got our offense is very similar to last year. Our defense is almost all new. I think there's 9 new players. Big deal or no? Not.
I think in terms of, when you look at it from 10,000-foot view, probably not a huge deal. But, the way we are, we make big deals out of small things. And he has a huge role there, and it involves labor, and it involves the team. So, the very first person it's going to affect the most is going to be Treader, and it's going to be the people that he is around as a leader. So he's got to serve the union there. So he's got to probably make sure that his backyard is clean. So he's got to have the team adhering to all of that. So I'd imagine that's going to cause some friction. But in terms of the overall, I don't think it's going to be a huge deal.
I wish it wasn't the Chiefs the first week because
why not get them out of the way, Dave?
We talked about that. It's been so long since we've won week 1. Like, I would love to be fully prepped on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe it doesn't really matter with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and build towards it. But we've played crappy teams in week 1 and lost. So just give them to us. You could play it either way. We lose that game. We know how far we have to go. We know that's the gold standard. We know we didn't hit it. So we know what we got to be. And if we win that game, okay, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We have to make sure our pace are, the way the NFL plays these things. You might as well have it early in the season, because by the end of the season, that's going to be the team you're going to the playoffs with. So realistically, that's a fairly inconsequential game, which is kind of funny to say against the AFC champions. But having it that early in the season really relegates it to that kind of a position. It's going to be huge at the time, and it's going to be life or death for us as fans, whether we win or lose that game. But when you get to week 16 and, dare I say, week 17, that game's not going to matter that much. So might as well make it, a big game early in the season. Why not? I don't think it's going to be a huge deal, Dave.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, let's circle back to the Indians real quick. They've actually been really fun to watch. And, Chris, you were there. What game was that?
Gab and I were both there.
Yes, Gab was there, yes. Chris, what did you think of the ballpark?
It's wild. I'll tell you, that's the first game that I've been to. Now, I went to a Cavs game with the COVID rules. But this game was just different. It's, Dave, you and I grew up when the Indians weren't very good, right? So you'd go to games with like 4,000 fans.
Yeah.
And for the game yesterday, it was 9,000 fans. The difference is that they're scattered in such a way that you got fans all over the stadium.
Yeah.
Because of the 6-foot rule. So it's not, used to 4,000 people that are kind of in the lower decks or whatever else, and that's it. You've got 9,000 people, but they're spread out all over the stadium, which is pretty wild. And they were trying to make, when we were rallying, they were trying to make as much noise as possible and did a pretty good job. Shout out to the people in the bleachers who were starting to pound on the bleacher seats, which I hadn't actually seen it at Indians game.
Nice.
I don't recall that ever happening in the games that I've attended. So, the fans were as rowdy as we could be. To try and will the team to victory. So that's good. And I just can't wait until June 2nd when everything goes back and you start having everybody there, because I think this young team is going to feed off of that type of energy, and that's going to be a good thing. But it was nice to try to start to get back to some, normalcy, going to an Indians game, getting out there with the kiddos. I mean, it's a good time. We unfortunately lost yesterday, but I just enjoy being out there and back to some normalcy. So hopefully the team will turn it on here, and be able to to have a nice run because I'd like to see a summer full of some good baseball from the Cleveland Indians.
I love, by the way, that you didn't say hi to Gab when you were there.
No, walked right past me at the concession stand. I was there wrangling all 3 of my kids, and I'm like, there's Gab.
I could see you being antisocial in person.
That's pretty much me. And I'll get these weird things like on Twitter. People like, hey, I'll come up and have a beer with you or whatever else. I'm like, it's always weird there because it's like, I'm with my kids and no, random stranger.
Hey, you're that reflog guy, right?
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, and I didn't want Gab doing that either. That's why I didn't call attention.
Yeah.
Hey, reflog.
I will say, Gab, we were talking about getting a bunch of people from Twitter down to the ballpark June 11th after I messed up the date for that.
Yeah, you totally boned on that one big time. What were you thinking, man?
I don't look at anything. I do little prep.
He got excited.
I got excited, man. But so June 11th, that game, I probably got the date wrong again, but that Friday, you look at tickets, they're like $300 now.
Are they really?
Yeah. So it's...
people have been sending me DMs about ticket prices. I've been totally out of the loop, but I assumed that they were a little high only because I haven't seen Papa Cruz at a game yet, and so he would usually be there already. So I figured that ticket prices may be up based on what I've heard, which is $300. Really? What kind of seats were they?
I'm not sure. I saw it on Twitter from my buddy Scuba Steve.
I wonder what those district tickets are going to be, though.
I don't know. I think
usually those are the affordable ones.
Yeah, but it's a good sign. It's cool. I think it might sell out.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I definitely think I could feel the vibe there on Sunday. I think we're gonna see some good attendance if the Indians can hold up their end of the bargain here for the next couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
I got my tickets for like $40. $40 a shot. Now I was in the upper deck. We're in the nosebleeds, but that's about what you'd expect. And a parking pass.
That usually doesn't come with the nosebleeds. That's nice.
No, I was really surprised, and I didn't know that until I checked out, and they're like, "Here's your parking pass." I'm like, parking pass, really?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
very cool.
What's funny is I parked at the parking deck that's right in between the two stadiums, between them and the Cavs, and from my seats I could see my car.
That's funny.
Like, there's our car, kids. We were parked at the very top there. And that's how high our seats were.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, speaking of the Tribe, Tristan McKenzie gets sent down.
He's crap.
Oh, come on, the Slim Reaper. I think he's going to be just fine. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit, but
I actually passed him on Sunday on the way up to Cleveland. He was on his way back down to Cleveland. Poor guy. I love him. I think he's great and everything, but I mean, you got to perform on the field.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Gab, what do you think we're going to do with the rotation kind of on the back end there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we got Logan Allen got sent down last month.
Yeah, he really struggled. I was surprised Karinchak didn't look himself yesterday even.
I saw a stat on him the other day, and that was only his third hit he's given up all year.
No kidding.
Oh yeah,
which is wild.
He didn't look right from the start. Maybe it was the pressure-filled situation, but he was not locating right from the get-go. So
I think it was some audio problems. What was going on in that game with the Wild thing? Does he always come out? I know he comes out to Wild thing, but they had it like muted. Was that intentional, or did you not notice that yesterday?
I didn't notice it. It could have been a glitch of some kind.
Because he came out to Wild thing, but it was not blaring at all. They had it like the lowest settings. So
I'll blame it on Kyle McTaggart, our audio guy.
Very anticlimactic.
Calling him out.
He just threw him under the bus right there.
They're like, we can't get him too amped up. It's James Karinchak. Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it's like they don't want to get him too. Yeah, it's
too
like
much adrenaline.
Coffee. People are like, don't give her coffee, so they were probably like, don't blare Karinchak's Wild thing.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was very muted, but yeah. And then Zach Plesac in that game through 3 innings, it was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, there must be something. There's just the moon is off or something. I don't know.
Then all of a sudden he gets shelled. He didn't look like he couldn't find the plate, and giving up 3-run bombs. It was just nightmare. And then us defensively, oh my god, that was tough to watch. I could go back and see my 10-year-old play better than
Yeah.
my team back at home. I mean, that was bad. It was not a good outing for a Sunday afternoon, even though it was a fun game because we came back and tied it up and went into extras. But, man, we got some work to do defensively, and we got some work. Even though our pitching's been very good this year, boy, if it doesn't hold up its end of the bargain, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think the defense looked like they were not asleep, but like one step behind. Like something would happen and they were reacting like a whole like beat later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it wasn't
just
they
odd.
weren't in flow. Like even little things like flipping it to first, like they were missing the back at first base. So you had a pitcher do that. Like, come on, this is basic blocking and tackling stuff for baseball. You should know this stuff.
But at this point of the season, I think they're way better than Chris that we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
They've
agree with that. Now we'll see what it holds up over the entire schedule. But,
Right.
you know, if our pitching could stay good and we can get some timely hitting, we keep saying it, we can hang, especially with this division.
If they need any motivation, maybe they could bring Phil Mickelson in.
How about
A little
that?
pep talk. How cool was that, by the way? Lefty, oldest player ever, right?
Yeah, 50 years old. Beats it was old Tom Morris, and I can't remember the other guy who we beat out. And of course, you remember back in 1986, Jack Nicklaus at 46 years old, making that putt at the Masters and winning the Masters. That one's just going to be always in my head. But it was really cool to see Phil do it, you know, and just commanding and in his swashbuckling style, being able to finish it off and seeing all the fans rally around him. I don't know. The security was a little lax, I would say, for anybody who watched that with the fans. But it really made for an electric type of atmosphere out there. And it's really cool, you know, being an older guy, an older golfer as I am these days, seeing a 50-year-old go out there and not only hang with the young bucks, but then also show them a few things and come in with his 6th major. So congrats to Phil.
Gab, was this the greatest old man win of all time?
Tom Brady is up there, but I think that is pretty impressive because golf, now I'm not a golfer, but just from what I've observed, you know, there's a lot of wear and tear on your joints. So to come out at 50, I would say that is pretty impressive.
Hey, and another thing, you talk about the old guys. Remember one of the few events we had during COVID, which was a year ago, actually yesterday, it was the first event that you really had on TV that everybody was watching, was that 2-on-2 event, right, of Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson. And Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson lost that match. And I think that something happened in the space-time continuum. It put us on a completely different timeline because all of a sudden Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl, Phil Mickelson wins a major. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see what's happened since that time. And it's just odd that was like the first event, the only event that we had at that time in a post-COVID world. And then for some reason, everything that's happened since then has really been kind of the opposite of what you would think, right? I mean, you wouldn't think
forgot about that.
Successful. You wouldn't have thought that Phil Mickelson was going to win. And then, you know, unfortunately what happened with Tiger Woods. And it's just like, it's unbelievable. I think that something happened in the space-time continuum during that match that would have otherwise been forgotten, that changed the course of sports forever, Dave. Not to oversell it or anything.
Conspiracy theorists, let's bring them back on.
Oh, we'll have to have them back on. That's right.
All right,
we have a lot to cover now with the UFO stuff coming out.
We do. Oh,
That's another show for another time.
That's a whole nother show. All right, let's do best and worst tweets of the week. Best tweet of the week. I am giving it to Browns rookie wide receiver out of Auburn, Anthony Schwartz. Shout out Greg Newsome as well. He was there. They went to Cedar Point Saturday. Check out the local amusement park here. live tweeted the whole thing. They gave their power rankings for their favorite roller coasters. It's been way too long since I've been there because I don't know like half of these. But we've got, what is that? Val Raven? I don't know what that is, / Raptor. The Raptor is awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the nickname for the Raptor? Or is that an honorable mention?
I don't know at that level.
Maybe it's something new now. I don't know. I haven't been in like a year or two.
Raptor's sweet. I haven't gone in like 10 years or 15 years. Dragster number 4, he put.
I'm going to call BS on Dragster at number 4. First of all,
okay.
Dragster is always being repaired.
Always broke. Never makes it all the way up.
Broken. It is like the ice cream machine at McDonald's. There's no way they actually wrote it. I got in the line twice last year for that stupid ride. Halfway through, it was broken and shut down, and I got kicked out of line. So I'm going to call BS on that, Anthony Schwartz. You didn't actually ride the Dragster.
Well, yeah, Chris, the flip side, though, is that if you get on it and then it goes up a halfway, comes back down, and then you get like a ride.
You get to go again, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a good
So
point.
it could be like awesome that way.
That's true.
Glass half full, Chris.
Right.
Number 3, Millennium Force. 2, Maverick. I have no idea what that is.
I've been on the Wait, no, I haven't. I'm thinking of.
Are you thinking of the Magnum?
Magnum, that's right.
And number 1, he had the teacups. Which, I don't know. It's pretty controversial, but
kind of a weird move there, Anthony. Steel Vengeance. No idea what that is either.
Fantastic ride.
Really?
Oh, my Lord. Dave, it'll change your life. If you make it up there.
Tell me about it.
Good. You should walk, or you should run, not walk. If you go up to Cedar Point this year, you've got to ride that thing. I mean, it's going to be an 8-hour line or whatever, but it is well worth it, my friend. I went on it last year. It changed my life.
What is it?
It's a roller coaster.
Oh, thank you.
And it's an insane roller coaster. I mean, they lock you into this thing like I don't know, you're being put away in solitary. Like you are locked in. And you have to put your stuff, you put your stuff below your seat in this little pouch that zips up. And you have to have your stuff in there. Otherwise, you're losing everything.
Really?
Anything is not strapped to you. Forget about it. It's gone if you don't put it in this little pouch. And then it sends you, it goes unbelievably fast, goes straight up and down at times. I mean, it's freaky.
Is that the one where you're standing?
Wow. No,
Yeah,
that's the Mantis.
No, it's kind of a weird. Yeah, you're kind of in a yoga pose. You're kind of like your knees are bent. And it's,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, It's really an odd type of thing. But it's fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
The old mine ride is that still there?
Well, what's the one that they used to have at Cedar Point?
He didn't put that on his list.
That used to fly off the tracks all the time.
The Blue Streak?
Not the Blue Streak. Blue Streak's still there.
The Mean Streak, or the Gemini. Those were both wooden.
Drop is no longer there.
Oh, the
Demon Drop at one point. It came off the tracks and flew through the entrance.
You would put a penny on your knee,
yes,
and then it would float as you're going down the Demon Drop.
True story.
Oh, wow.
My physics class at Granville High School went up there to Cedar Point to do that experiment on the Demon Drop.
Really?
Yeah. We had a cool teacher.
That's
Mr.
an awesome
Spence.
teacher. Shout out.
So
nice.
I will say though on this tweet, it's interesting you picked this one because he's getting scary close to Sir Yacht territory. Sir Yacht's
what do you mean? Oh, because it's so bad?
No. It's a fine tweet and everything, but just kind of traveling to Cedar Point.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of pub. I mean, this is Sir Yacht lane. I mean, Sir Yacht's not liking this, I'm sure.
No.
The next thing is Anthony Schwartz is going to be like traveling to Worcester or, Medina and like showing you all the sites and doing a little touristy video. Sir Yacht's going to be like, what? You take my Twitter account and now you're taking my gigs. What's going on?
That's right. Anthony Schwartz, top 5 at Cedar Point. Where will I go next?
That's exactly.
Joey, we love you.
Shouting out insider information on the Browns.
All right, Chris, what was the worst tweet of the week?
This one, I tell you what, our crack staff has done a fantastic job uncovering this tweet from 2012 from our own Dennis Maniloff. He wrote, and I quote, "Phil Mickelson is done. Great career. Thanks for a fantastic ride." That was 9 years ago. And what did he do yesterday? He won the PGA. So I think Phil gets the last laugh on Dennis on this one. So that's a tough one.
Dennis just putting that out there.
9 years ago, and here 9 years ago when he was 41, and now he comes back, wins the PGA. So way to go, Phil. Cheers to Dennis Maniloff.
Dennis is like, I'm going to get ton of engagement in a decade from this tweet.
Tweeting from his BlackBerry, too.
I think it was freezing cold takes that brought this one back.
That's good. They're good down there.
They are. They are.
We haven't had him on this show, have we? On my old show, I had him on.
Is it Fred?
I forget his name, but he's insane with this stuff. And he's good at it. But
yeah,
he has a whole routine of digging this stuff up and what he does. So there's a method behind his madness over there at Freezing Cold Takes. So war them. They're awesome.
Nice, good stuff. All right, we went long, but that was a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone still here and hanging out with us on a late Monday night. Huge shout out to shacknews.com. Go check them out for all your video game needs. Me and the kiddos on there all the time, checking out reviews, games coming up, power ranking different games. Check them out, shacknews.com. Go subscribe to their Twitch channel. Go buy some Labatt. Make sure you tag, after you buy, tag us in a picture on Twitter, Instagram, wherever that may be, and you will be entered in to win some free Labatt stuff. Go drink those beers. And huge shout out to Matt Lodi. Love him taking some time with us. Fantastic reminiscing of the mid-90s for our Cleveland Indians. And we'll see who we have on next week. So we'll see you next week on the Chris, we're working time and a half, correct?
That's correct.
All right.
My favorite response tweet to our show tonight was
that?
Exile on Woodward wrote, "Hey, is this sponsored by Labatt?" I was sitting here, I had Labatt hats and Labatt shirts and Labatt graphics.
It's a NASCAR show, yes.
Labatt seltzer over there.
That's right. That's right. No shame. We will see you guys next week, Monday night, 9 p.m. Check it out live. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I ain't no goddamn doctor.
Cut back by Chubb. He's to the 10. He's still running to the 5.